It's been a while. It's John. I'm not really known for creating my own videos, and this is actually going to be my first one, recorded and edited. I just wanted to do something to help out Eric, help out the channel. I'm not really around as often as I'd like to be, but I feel like whenever I am around, things get a little hectic. But I don't know. I felt like today introducing myself a little bit. There's some big plans along the way, and you know, kind of wanted to give you guys something to watch while you wait. So I can't really give out a lot of details, but there are a lot of big projects that Eric is working on, and now that I finally learned how to do my own editing, basic editing, like if this editing was rated on a level of preschooler to master, I'd probably be newborn. I'd probably be sperm cell. I don't know. But it's enough to get me by, and let's see how it goes. So I think before in the channel, in recent videos or past videos, I've mentioned that I was hit by a car. I don't know how many times I've talked about that, so I won't talk about it right now. Just to give myself something a little new to talk about. But I guess a little bit about me would be, I do like anime. Every time on the Discord whenever I do show up on the Discord, I do talk about anime here and there. I'm always on the prowl for something new. I've been watching anime since I was a kid. I was born really probably like the late 90s, transitioning into the 2000s. And my first introduction to anime was probably Toonami at the time, late night Cartoon Network. For those of you who don't know, Cartoon Network was a channel. I don't know if it was worldwide. I'm pretty sure it was, but it was a channel that had a bunch of like kids shows, and then at night, or maybe around like 8 or 9 p.m., it would switch over to Adult Swim, and then I think on Saturdays, they had a segment called Toonami, and Toonami was the introduction of a lot of anime, and for me, that was first getting introduced to like original Naruto, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball, Hikari no Go, and what is it? Dot Hack, something like that. But yeah, no, it was really cool. I never really knew what anime was at the time until my cousin. My cousin was the one actually who really got me into it. But I would just watch it, here and there. I always liked it. When they had those white screens with that really calm music, and it just had random letters. Yeah, that's what I really liked, and that's kind of what drew me to it. So I really never really watched anime religiously. It was just, if it was there, I would watch it. There was one day where my cousin was on his computer, and he was watching Bleach. He was watching Bleach off of one of those third-party websites, the streaming website. Well, I mean, not third-party. We're gonna call them legal streaming websites, and and I was just watching it, and it was really fucking interesting. And I was like, dude, what's this called? And I was like, oh, this is Bleach. I'm like, that's Bleach? I've only seen the episode where he gets his powers from Rukia. That's literally episode 1. And I think at the time, the show itself was at the part where Ichigo is going through Soul Society to save Rukia after she gets taken back. So it was probably like 30 episodes in, 40 episodes in. I want to say roughly. I'm not too sure. But it was really interesting. And that was like my first introduction into action anime. Action anime. And then from there, I went on to watch OG Dragon Ball, which was Goku as a kid. And then it was then I watched Naruto. Then I started watching a bunch of other shit that started coming out. My favorite anime that, like, well, not my favorite, but like definitely in my top 5 is an anime called Clanad. It's a slice of life anime, and oh my god, that shit makes me fucking cry every time. Like, I hear that opening or that ending song, and my heart just like wants to jump off a bridge, do a backflip, and die. It's so wholesome and really sad. I just loved it. And then I think think around age 9 or 10, my family got our own computer that I was able to use, and I started learning about different anime. It was a lot of like the ecchi stuff. So I think my first introduction to really hardcore ecchi anime was an anime called To Love Ru. Really at the time was no, I think at the time like that was like maybe 2006, and at that time anime I feel didn't really have the hardcore restrictions that they do now with censorship. And so there was just boobies just like flapping around fucking screen all the time. I had to like watch that thing when no one was home, but I was really invested in it. And preteen kid right there, like 9, 10 probably, I was like, damn, that's cool. And yeah, I fell in love with that series. Aside from like all the nudity and stuff, I thought the story was pretty good until I started reading the manga, and then I hated it. But aside from that, yeah, that was my journey with anime. I still keep up with it now. I mean, if you guys ever want to message me on Discord or in the Discord server for the channel, ping me, and if I see it and you want to talk about anime, I'm all for it. Aside from that, I do a lot of dabbling in like card games, board games. I never really learned how to play any card games until maybe high school. I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards as a kid, but they were like those Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you'd get off the old ladies on the side of the road, or that would post up next to a school to sell stuff to kids, you know, when they're getting out of school. That's the quick way, some fake cards. And I remember just having a bunch of random cards and not knowing how to use them, and me and my friends would always play for keeps. It was like those kids on the what's that one there's an ad that went around for, I think it was for Duel Links or Master Duel, or one of those two. And it's that guy who slams his card on the table. He's like, now with the field empty, I can special summon Dark Magician.
With no monsters left on the field, I summon Dark Magician. Declare direct attack.
Ah, you got me.
Told Joe's the master.
GG.
That's how we were as kids, dude. We didn't know the fucking rules. We would just summon shit all willy-nilly. I remember I filled up a deck with like all the strong monsters. I had a knockoff Slifer, a knockoff Blue Eyes, and I would just put that in there and just summon it. I think at the time we didn't even know what the hell fusion summons were, and we thought they were just different colored monsters and put them into the main deck. It was really interesting, and we would play for keeps. And it was I felt really bad because, like, thinking back on it, I used to kind of have my friends distract the old ladies, and they were really nice, and I was an asshole of a kid. Like, I'll admit that I was pretty bad. And we would when they would distract her, I would walk up behind the booth acting like I'm looking around and act like I dropped something, but I would drop two things at once, so it looks like it, but it would sound like one when it fell. And I would pick it up like if I'm picking it up and putting it back, and the other thing would stay on the floor, and I would kind of drag it with my foot, and it was a pack of fake cards. And that's how we collected cards at the time, because I want to say this was around when I was like 3rd or 4th grade. We didn't have money, you know, we were kids. So it was I felt bad because I was stealing from these ladies, but at the same time I feel like these ladies were stealing from kids because they were selling us fake product, false advertisement. Let's see. And that was my introduction to Yu-Gi-Oh. After that, I think I got a little older and I just threw them away. I knew about it. I would watch the series. I really enjoyed 5Ds. I really enjoyed GX. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start buying the cards again. It really wasn't until high school when I was reintroduced to the scene. It was my freshman year, and I started playing baseball for my school. I joined the baseball team at my school, and that was, I think, my reintroduction. Yeah, some of the like juniors and seniors in the school or in the baseball team would meet up during lunch and go to like a classroom, and they'd start dueling. And one day, like, I was curious, so I followed them, and I saw them playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I just watched them, and they're like, oh, do you know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm like, I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. And they're like, oh, well, we can teach you. So they started teaching me the basic rules with like their cards, and I was like, oh, dude, this is really fun. And so I remember that my cousin had a bunch of just like random ass cards, and like he offered them to me, and I took them. I took them on the offer. I'm like, yeah, I'll take all these cards off you. And so everyone had like their own decks. They had like theme decks. So I don't know if anyone knows much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh, you have archetypes. Archetypes are like basically clans of like certain cards. That's like a really dumb way to say it, but it's basically that. And so they all had strategies and stuff to go with their crap. And I shit you not, I come up with a deck of random cards, not even sleeved, no protection on there. These cards are just loose. And I made a deck box out of a Crayola box. So the inside was all fucking waxy and whatever. And I walk up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to kick someone's ass. I learned how to play. I know my strategies for this deck. Little did I know I was in for a fucking world of hurt. I felt like I just got RKO'd with fucking who knows what, but it was horrible. And that was my introduction to learning about archetypes. And so I was too stubborn. I was like, I'm gonna beat someone with this deck. Like it's a mix mash of all my random cards, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna do something. You guys can't stop me. And I never won. I lost every single game, but it was fun. It was fun. It was my introduction into that, and you know that's when I wanted to build my own playable deck, and I had became friends with someone in the apartment building that I live in, and we were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I didn't even know that this guy played Yu-Gi-Oh, and we kind of grew up together because he's been a neighbor. He was my neighbor for 17 plus years now. He still lives here. And he was telling me, "Oh, I have a deck for sale. Like it's a archetype. At the time it was called Steel Swarm." And I was like, "Dude, yeah, for sure. I'll take it off your hands." And he's like, "I'll give it to you for like $30." I was like, "Cool." I didn't have $30, so I asked my mom for 30. She's like, "What's it for?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go to the liquor store." Never went to the liquor store. So I got the deck. I showed up to school the next day after I learned it. I didn't even practice it. Who am I kidding? I didn't even practice. I just showed up to school, and I was like, "All right, guys, I built a deck." And they're like, "Okay, cool. Let's test it. Let's go against it." I'm like, "All right." I was acting confident. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with this deck. I didn't know any of the combos. I didn't know any of the strategies. Like, I'm gonna learn this as I go, and I think that has been a recurring theme with a lot of my play styles for a lot of games, like video games, card games, board games. I think at that moment, that's where I developed into that kind of personality, and it's dragged on to other card games and board games. I've had many friends who comment on that they love to duel me because I am random as fuck. They know what the stuff I use does, so they know the strategies that I could do. They know the combos I could do because they study up on these cards. But then I'll come up with something that's way out of left field, and they don't even know what the fuck to expect. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, and it just works. And I think that it's funny to do it like that. And I've always enjoyed being a little random, a little unexpected. Obviously, it's not good in real life situations, but it has been fun. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that I can go on about myself, but you know, this is just a taste of a little bit of me, and you know, hopefully the other guys in the channel or the other peeps in the channel can share a little bit about themselves a little more. You know, this, like I said, this is to help out our man Eric and give him a little rest. So this will be my first official self-recorded, self-edited, and uploaded contribution to the Homeboys channel officially. So it was really nice getting to talk a little bit about myself. Expect a couple more parts. I'm probably not gonna go too far in. Maybe like three little stories about myself. And yeah, it's been John, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
She stay wet for her. Shawty so kawaii and would die for her. Ride and watch hentai all the time with